Have you ever walked home alone at night? Every rustle, every shadow, your mind racing. You tell yourself it's just your imagination. But what if it isn't? This is the story of a night that started like any other and became a modern urban legend. The case of the smiling man. Our story begins with Liam Evans, a 22-year-old college student. On an October night in 2008, he left the library and started his walk home. The air was crisp, the streets quiet, just another Tuesday night. But normalcy is fragile. It can shatter in an instant. For Liam, this was only the beginning. As Liam walked alone at night, he noticed a tall, thin man standing motionless under a streetlight. The man's shabby suit and stillness made Liam uneasy. He slowed, heart pounding, but kept walking. As he drew closer, he saw the man's face, an impossibly wide, unsettling smile. It stretched ear to ear, showing too many teeth. Liam's instinct screamed at him to run, but he was frozen. He forced himself to pass by, head down, desperate to escape. That horrible smile burned into his memory. He walked faster, not daring to look back. Sometimes a single glance is all it takes. Some encounters you never forget. Liam walked several blocks, heart still hammering, the image of that smile seared into his mind. He tried to rationalize. Maybe the guy was just a weirdo. He risked a glance back. The street was empty. Relief. But then he saw him again. The smiling man was now on the other side of the street, walking parallel to him. But he wasn't just walking. He was dancing. A bizarre, disjointed dance. Limbs flailing, defying gravity. All the while, that same terrifying smile. The silence was the worst part. No footsteps, no sound. It was as if he wasn't really there. Liam felt cold dread seep into his bones. This wasn't just a weird person. This was something else. Liam stopped. The man stopped too, frozen in a dance-like pose. The silence stretched, thick and heavy. Liam's fight-or-flight response kicked in. He chose flight. He turned and ran, not knowing where, just away. Sometimes fear is the only thing that makes sense. And sometimes running is all you can do. The smiling man was no ordinary threat. Liam was being hunted, and the night was far from over. After running, Liam stopped to catch his breath. The street was empty. No sign of the smiling man. He hoped it was over, but fear gnawed at him. His apartment was still blocks away. He had to keep moving. He stuck to the shadows, senses on high alert. Every sound made him jump. The neighborhood felt like a hunting ground. Then he saw him again. The smiling man stood at the next intersection, under another streetlight, that same horrible smile. He hadn't run, he had just appeared. It was impossible. Liam had been running, yet the man was ahead of him. It was as if he could teleport, moving from one pool of light to the next. The laws of physics didn't apply. Liam's fear turned to terror. He was being hunted deliberately, silently. The man wasn't just trying to scare him, he was playing with him, a cat playing with a mouse. Liam felt trapped, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The smiling man was always one step ahead. The game was on, and Liam was losing. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that break the rules. And sometimes you realize you're not just scared, you're prey. Liam's nightmare was only getting darker. The smiling man was always waiting, and the night was far from over. Liam's desperation grew. He needed proof, someone to believe him. He pulled out his phone, hands trembling, and started recording. The smiling man was a silhouette in the orange streetlight, but the smile was visible, a white slash in the darkness. Liam captured the moment, his fear evident in every shaky frame. The smiling man stood still, then began his silent, frantic dance, moving toward Liam with unnatural speed. The video jerked wildly as Liam backed away, terror in every shot. The smiling man got closer, his features clearer, wide, unblinking eyes, impossibly broad smile. He moved with a grace that was both beautiful and horrifying. The video was a digital scream, a raw look into one man's nightmare. It was the last thing Liam did before he turned and ran for his life. Sometimes the only thing you can do is leave a record. Sometimes that's all that's left. Liam's fear was now immortalized, but the smiling man was still coming, and the chase was far from over. proof doesn't always bring safety. Liam didn't wait. He ran faster than ever before. He could feel the smiling man behind him, a cold presence in the air. The silence was terrifying. No footsteps, no breathing, just his own heart pounding. He glanced back. The smiling man was running now, leaning forward at an impossible angle, legs churning like pistons. He moved with inhuman speed, closing the distance with terrifying ease. The smile never left his face, a rictus of pure joy. He was enjoying the chase. Liam dodged cars, leapt hedges, running for his life. But the smiling man was always right behind him. It was a nightmare he couldn't wake from. Liam's energy faded. His legs felt like lead. He saw the lights of a main road ahead, a flicker of hope. If he could just reach the road, there would be people, safety. He pushed himself harder, sprinting toward the lights. It was his only chance. Sometimes survival is just a matter of seconds. And sometimes the line between life and nightmare is a single street away. Liam ran for the light, for safety, for his life. The smiling man was right behind him. The chase was almost over, but the terror would last forever. Liam's only hope was to reach the light, and hope the darkness wouldn't follow. Sometimes the only escape is the light. Liam burst onto the main road, blinded by headlights and noise. He stumbled, waving frantically. A car swerved, horn blaring. He looked back. The smiling man stood at the edge of the darkness, just beyond the streetlights. The chase was over. He didn't follow Liam into the light. He just stood there, smiling, a smile of victory, a promise of return. He raised a slow, deliberate hand in a wave, then vanished into the darkness. Liam collapsed, shaking, adrenaline gone. He was safe, but the terror remained. The image of the smiling man was burned into his memory. A passing driver called the police. They found Liam, unable to speak, pointing into the darkness. He was taken to the hospital, treated for shock. He told the police his story, voice barely a whisper. He told them about the man, the smile, the chase, and the video. The officers were skeptical, but they had to investigate. Sometimes the scariest stories are the ones no one believes, and sometimes the nightmare never really ends. For Liam, the smiling man was real, and he was still out there. The police took Liam's statement seriously, despite its strangeness. They canvassed the neighborhood. No witnesses, no evidence. The streets had been silent. The only clue was Liam's phone and the video he'd recorded. The tech team confirmed a video had been made, but the file was corrupted, unwatchable. Only a few distorted still frames remained, a blurry street, a flash of orange, a distorted shape. The proof Liam risked his life for was gone. With no evidence, no suspect, and a corrupted video, the case was left open, unsubstantiated. For the police, it was a dead end. For Liam, it was life-altering. He moved out the next day, haunted by the memory, but the story didn't end there. Liam's tale spread, among friends, then online. It became an urban legend, a piece of modern folklore. People were fascinated and terrified. The smiling man tapped into a primal fear, the fear of being hunted by something that doesn't play by the rules. The case was unsolved, and in that mystery, the legend grew. Sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that never get closure, and sometimes legends are born from the shadows. So, what's the truth behind the smiling man? Real phantom or just a figment of fear? Some believe Liam's story, a genuine encounter with something unnatural. Others call it fiction, a creepypasta for the digital age. Psychologists suggest it could be a waking dream, a hallucination born of stress. But whether fact or fiction, the story endures. It taps into a universal fear, the unknown, the human face twisted into something monstrous. The smiling man is unsettling because he's almost human, but not quite. Ultimately, it doesn't matter if he's real. What matters is that he feels real. The story is a cautionary tale, reminding us to trust our instincts, to be aware. Next time you walk home alone at night, you might remember this story. You might pick up your pace, and you'll definitely look over your shoulder just in case, because you never know who or what might be smiling in the dark.